Twin needle stitching is great for t-shirt hems since it stretches along with the t-shirt fabric. On the outside of the t-shirt, both rows of stitching are perfectly parallel. And it's not just for knits. Twin needle hems look awesome on stretchy or woven denim pants too. Hi friends, Nancy here. Today I'm sharing 7 keys to twin needle success, plus a bonus tip at the end that will really level up your results. So let's get started with key number 1. Choose the right needle. Your needle choice can make or break your results. For my lightweight t-shirt hem, I used a 75 over 2.5 twin stretch needle. It worked well on my t-shirt material when I tested it on a sample of the fabric. The rounded tip gently pushes the knit fibers aside instead of piercing them, helping you avoid holes and skipped stitches that can happen with a sharp needle made for woven fabrics. For hemming these medium-weight stretch denim pants, I used a universal twin needle, which has a slightly rounded tip, but it is not as blunt as a ballpoint. It's the middle ground between a ballpoint and a sharp designed for woven fabrics. Look in the description below for some twin needle options for your projects. Key number 2, thread your machine for twin needle stitching. Twin needle stitching uses 1 bobbin and 2 top threads. You'll thread your machine with 2 spools instead of 1. Start with a main spool in its usual spot. For your second thread, place a spool or bobbin on an extra spool pin if your machine has one. If it doesn't, you can stack the second spool or bobbin on the first, or place a bobbin on the winder spindle without engaging the winding mechanism. To install the twin needle, insert it just like a regular needle. Make sure the flat side of the shank is facing the back of the machine. Next, thread the primary thread all the way through the usual path, including the needle. Then do the same with the second thread, following the same threading path, but stop before threading the second needle. If your machine has 2 thread guides near the needle clamp, place the second thread in the unused guide. If there's only 1 guide, don't thread both through it, just skip it for the second thread and thread the second needle. Key number 3. Test your stitching. Before sewing your actual project, test your twin needle stitches on a scrap, ideally from the same fabric. If you don't have a scrap, use something with similar weight and stretch. Your goal is to achieve balanced stitching, neat and parallel on the top, and a clean zigzag from the bobbin on the underside. Key number 4. Adjust your machine settings. Twin needle stitching often needs a tension tweak, like raising the tension on the upper thread, or if you see a ridge or tunneling between the 2 rows of stitching, try lowering your upper thread tension. If the stitches aren't stretching enough with the fabric, try shortening the stitch length, for example, going from 2.5 down to 2. For more sewing inspiration, be sure to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. And remember, each stitch is like a little hug of creativity. Key number 5. Use a walking foot. A walking foot is your best friend for twin needle sewing, especially on knits or stretchy fabrics. Just like the feed dogs on your machine that move the lower fabric, a walking foot has feed dogs that move the top layer of fabric in sync with the lower feed dogs and fabric, helping prevent stretching, shifting, and tunneling. To install the walking foot, remove your regular presser foot and foot holder. Line up the walking foot lever over your machine's needle clamp bar. The walking foot screw bracket wraps around the presser foot bar. The foot is attached using the screw you just removed. Walking feet aren't just for knits. They're great for slippery fabrics, for matching stripes and plaids. They're great for thick materials like denim and leather, and even for quilting. Key number 6, use tearaway backing. Tearaway backing gives your fabric more stability as you sew. It comes in different weights and even water-soluble options. You can also try alternatives like parchment paper, which I've used successfully, or tissue paper. I had great results with tissue paper on a recent lightweight t-shirt project. I avoided tunneling, skip stitches, and holes. My stitches were neat, even, and had just the right tension. Key number 7, adjust bobbin tension if needed. Sometimes, even after tweaking everything else, your stitches still don't look quite right. That's when adjusting your bobbin tension can help. Before making any changes, take a photo of your current bobbin case screw slot so you know exactly where the screw started. Turn the small screw to the left to loosen the tension. A turn to the right tightens it. I usually start with a quarter turn to the left and test a few stitches, adjusting slightly until I'm happy with the balance between the upper and lower threads. Don't touch the screw on the right, it just holds the bobbin case together. And once you're done with twin needle sewing, return the screw to its original position for regular stitching. If your seam has some upper thread stitching peeking through to the fabric back where the zigzag stitching is, remember that as long as the front stitching looks neat and professional and the fabric stretches properly, your twin needle stitching can still be called a success. Now for the bonus tip, serge raw fabric edges. If you have a serger, many fabrics can benefit from serging the raw edge of your hem before you sew with your twin needle. This helps the twin needle hem lay flat and looks very polished. Thank you for watching. And if you'd like to learn more about twin needle tips and techniques, watch these videos next. Until next time.